just love this wall.
Me too.
I just throw everything into it.
I was going to come see you one day a while ago, but I think you were really sick or something happened. I don't know what that means. Great.
McAllis, did you start the live stream? We'll do that in a minute.
You're live. When I'm going inside, I'm taking the thumbnail off.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, the curtain. All right. So welcome everybody. Welcome anybody that's tuning in online as well. Friday morning meditation, and there's a lot to kind of reprogram and shift in everybody's lives, I think, on a global consciousness level. And we were chatting a little bit just a minute ago about how hectic this year has been, and also a little bit, through all the chaos, it's where do you find your inner peace, right? And I think that a lot of times, meditation is one of the best ways to just anchor yourself back into yourself, and know that if you have a solid core, even if there's chaos going on around you, it will feel calm, right? In some of the Buddhist meditations, some of the training for like the higher levels of meditation is literally meditating in the midst of chaos and loud noises and different, environments like that, and realizing that when you're calm, and so you can kind of feel the energy right now in how the room feels, how you feel. And when we're done with the meditation, you can kind of take a step and feel that it's going to feel completely different, even when people are shuffling around and exiting out, because there's nothing changed as far as the volume, nothing changed as far as the space, a little bit on if we bring in a lot of divine energy, but there's a peace and a comfort even if things, get chaotic. So I think it's really important that people take the time to center themselves and meditate, whether joining us for guided meditations or taking some time each and every morning. Especially, I think things are going to get a lot more chaotic before they get better, right? You're seeing that, it's no surprise and everything as far as what I mean by that being with the coronavirus and all of the different things that are happening out in the world, So how do we continue to have a practice for ourselves, you know? And then with this meditation in particular, this one is all about reprogramming you. And so when we go through and we do some hypnosis work on top of the meditation, we can really start to shift your inner belief systems, and we can start to activate and bring forth prosperity, abundance, other things that you truly desire. And you can notice in your life that you have repeated patterns, right? And these patterns that exist, for whatever reason, you can try to think, you know, I want to make different plans, or I want to do different things, or I'm going to be different or do different, and then another occurrence happens and it puts you in the same kind of spot again, and you're like, how did I get here again, right? And I'm here to say that it's not your fault, it's just, but it is your programming. And so when you can take responsibility and say a large portion of the patterns that you're exhibiting in your life are because of what maybe your belief systems got instilled growing up, the experiences that you went through that shaped like what you thought you were capable of or not capable of, what you thought you deserved or didn't deserve, right? And you see that. And you can assess and look at different people in your life and say, wow, for that person, this area is so easy for them, right? Like, let's talk about like finances, for instance, since this is abundance. You know, some people, they can just, it seems like money's never an issue, and that they always make money and they expand, and that's not a problem. But maybe there's a different area of their life. Maybe it's their relationships that struggle, and for whatever reason, they never can hold a serious relationship, or there's problems maybe in their health, or vice versa, right? You know, and we are always working on something. And at certain times, one area of our life might be doing really well, and another area could be lacking a little bit. But if you look at the larger kind of patterns that go on, you can say, okay, how do I just take ownership of that for one moment, right? And say, okay, I'm taking ownership that something inside of me, my beliefs, my thoughts, my feelings, my core, is creating this, right? And if you do that, it's not about disempowering you, and it's not about a blame, it's about empowering you. Because if you realize, if I got here, I can get somewhere different, right? If I'm the one who manifested these circumstances and situations in my life, I can manifest something different. But a lot of it comes in with the reprogramming, you know? And so I want to go around the room and hear, you know, what are some of the things that maybe through this conversation that I'm bringing up, that ideas or things in your life that are repeated patterns, right? That, or certain things that you're working towards that you need a little bit more push on, you know, so that we can gear this meditation for those things specifically, okay?
Persistence and consistency with saving.
Okay.
That's what I get right now.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's often a pattern for people, you know. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much money they make, it goes right out their fingers. Money in, money out, you know. And like, you know, you can double your income, triple your income, but your amount of money that you hold on to might stay exactly the same. And, you know, because you just continue to maybe live outside of your means, right? So you get that promotion, or you get that new job, or you get that thing, and then you upgrade your apartment, and then you upgrade your car, and then you upgrade this, and then you're in the same exact situation. You just have more expensive things, you know? And so that is often a struggle for a lot of people. Okay.
I would say not worrying as much about the flow of money that I have coming in, because I think on an energetic level that stops it because I'm worrying about it so much, so I'm blocking it. I'm on my own in a way. So just to kind of release that,
Yeah.
so that it's not a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things for manifestation in general, for anybody to be aware of, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's, you know, health or anything, right? If people are constantly worrying about something, you're sending a vibrational energy out that you don't trust or believe that it's yours, right? Like if, well, maybe not right now. This is probably the bad example, but I'm going to say it. But like if you booked a vacation, you don't question whether you're going to go on it, right? For the most part. Maybe right now you question and, and all the travel bans happening. But in general, in the past, if like you say, okay, I'm booking this trip or I'm doing this thing, you don't check your flight itinerary every single day. You don't wonder about it. You just know what's happening, right? And there's certain things, maybe like a better example would be like going and meeting a friend for like lunch or dinner. It's like in your calendar, you know what's there. But take a different type of thing, and let's say there's a new person that you're really interested in, and you have a date planned, you might get nervous and think, oh man, they're going to cancel, they're going to this, they're going to that. And you kind of are pushing that energy away because you're not believing it's possible, or there's some part of you that doesn't feel like you deserve it, right? And so you're questioning, and I call that like, imagine that everything that we desire and we're trying to creates this energy like thought form in the universe, right? And instead of that thought form going out and working for you, you're calling it back in, and so it's like, okay, here I am again. What did you say about abundance? What did you say about money flow? I'm right here, I'm listening instead of working for you. Do you see? Like if you can imagine it like this other force of energy, it's like, you can't, if you were calling, like if you asked somebody to do something and then you kept on calling them, they couldn't actually go and get it done, right? Hey, did you do that? You're not giving me the time to go and do it. Stop calling me, right? So think about it like that.
I think feeling comfortable with charging for my time and energy.
Okay.
Like like a for-profit setting.
Okay. Absolutely. A lot of people have a hard time with that, charging for and that's a form of worth, right? My time and energy is valuable. And then you have to flip that a little bit. And do you feel comfortable paying people for their time and energy? And if the answer is yes to that, why would you question whether you should get paid for your time and energy, right? And so, but a lot of it is really core beliefs, and some of that can even be ancestral, right? And, but it's once you get that and you see that what your value that you're providing has a value of reciprocation of energy, right? And that comes in maybe a form of currency, like a payment, right? But starting to say like your hour of time is worth a certain thing, and knowing that because somebody else's hour of time is worth a certain pay, right? And so we'll work on that.
Okay, where do I begin?
Wherever you want.
So I've been to a lot of different stuff here, and I've been to some of your classes, and I always know they're like amazing. And I've been listening to your weekly uploads from this for a long time now. Because I usually work Fridays during the day, so I can never come. And I've just went through just a really bad breakup in October. And I remember you posted a meditation. It was like the 100th, or it was the anniversary or something.
Yeah.
And it just really did something. And I've been listening every week, but I'm still I'm stuck in this place. Can't get up. And I was just hurt so badly that it's been so hard for me to let go. And it's like, it's something I think about all the time. Let it go, kind of like you were saying. It's almost like I think about
pulling it back in.
It go so much that I can't let it go. And in my attempts to let it go, I kind of let this person back into my life. And so it's created a continuous ball of confusion, stress, tension. I actually saw 2 psychics here before, and they had both kind of told me, we see you doing better in the spring, we actually see you meeting someone else, all these things. And so then I put kind of a little more stress on myself too, going, am I going against the universe? Am I letting it down? Am I not listening? So it's just been like psychological warfare, it seems like, for 5 or 6 months now, and I just can't detach from this person, these things, let go, move on. It's like I'm just stuck.
Okay. What I'm also hearing is not making yourself wrong in acceptance of where you're at, right? You know, like that nothing in life we need to do or not do, right? We all make choices. And each choice that we make, if it's where we're at that time, and if we create a bigger level of trust in the process that our choices are our lessons and our learnings, right? So if we take it beyond there and say, okay, well, what am I learning from this, right? What am I learning, or what is my soul or my energy or my self learning from this attachment, right? Because oftentimes what persists and what continues to show up, or what will continue to show up in a different form, is the same lesson, right? And so if we ask ourselves, one of the ways to get over things, one of the ways to release things, is to try to figure out what is the higher reason for myself, my life, in the bigger perspective, right? You know, it's like pulling you out of this moment and saying, okay, this particular relationship, this energy connection that I have, this ability, what is this teaching me, right? You know, is it teaching me to have more self-love? Is it teaching me to know what I want? Is it giving me more clarity on the type of relationship that I want to show up and what I do not want to show up? Am I learning to have better boundaries? Am I learning whatever, right? And when you start to ask those types of questions, you'll start to hear some answers that are different from the blame game of saying, I need to let something go, I need to push something away, I need to move on. And then when you hear that authentically, once you learn and you get those ahas, something's going to shift like that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for everybody? Okay, I'm sure we can all relate in certain things. We all, whether it's a relationship and a love, or whether it's attachment to an opportunity, or whether it's an attachment to how we want an experience to go, or whatever the case may be, or even like our own goals for ourselves, and then we beat ourselves up and say, I said by, March 1st I was going to be in a different place. I said that I was going to, lose those 10 pounds by this date. I said that I was going to, have this much money saved in my account. I said that I was going to start charging for my time at this rate by this point, right? And then we make ourselves wrong. And then we further create a lower self-confidence, right? Because now you're saying that something you did is wrong, instead of saying, okay, yes, I get that, but did I advance in some way? What did I learn? How did I grow? Did I start charging a little bit more? Do I have a little savings? Did I start eating a little healthier? Did I start allowing myself to look at other, dating potential? Did I feel a sense of attraction to somebody else, right? Like where can you allow yourself to be your own gauge in your own life, right? And realize that you're on your own timetable, right? You are on your own timetable, okay? And when we get that and we stop so much, I love that people create goals, but sometimes it's so much to their detriment because you're not allowing yourself to go through your process, right? If somebody died that's close to you, right, you're going to have different grieving periods of time than somebody else maybe. Let's say a family member dies and there's a whole group and you have a large family, each one of you is going to process that in a different time period. And you wouldn't make yourself wrong, or your family member, your sibling, or your mom or your dad or somebody wrong for having a longer or a shorter time period, right? And you would say that's just their process. That's where they're at, okay? And I'm kind of pushing this a little bit in because I think that we do this all the time to our detriment. Everybody does, right? And we have permission to rewrite our goals. We have permission to change our timeline. We have permission to just take step at that, because also change can happen like this. It can seem like no change, no change, no change, no change, right? And so when that happens, you might actually be on track, but it might not seem like you're on track because you feel like nothing's moving. But if you start to ask yourself what you're learning and see the little steps, before you know it, there is going to be that massive explosion of change that happens. And then when change happens, it happens like this. But getting you to the point of being ready to change is what often takes the longest period of time, right? And I often like to look at it. I don't know if anybody ever played those like games at arcades where the quarters stuck out, and you put it in, and you're like, oh God, man, they're almost falling. Okay, I'll put in another quarter, and then I'll put in another quarter, and I'll put in another quarter, and it might seem like it should have fallen. You might have like even tried to shake the machine. And I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but I've tried a little bit to shake it. But it only takes that exact quarter, right? And all of a sudden it's an avalanche, and whoosh, not one quarter falls, but just all of it falls, right? And so if you think about life like that, you're putting in a quarter every single day. You're putting in something that's moving you forward, whether it doesn't even seem like it might have been the quarter that got stuck on the top that's just sliding back and forth, but it eventually is going to fall into place. And it's eventually going to help create the shift in the avalanche.
Due to some recent success around reprioritizing my growth and finding such value in this hypnotherapy and this meditation that we do, I'm finding myself reflective, and a lot of the work, journaling I've been doing, and even in my dreams, is within my first 5 years. I'm remembering people I haven't thought of in 50 years or longer, and some of them who've passed have come back in my dreams to talk about issues or to say, this is why we did this. It's been fascinating. And so the other two issues that came up while I was doing this writing is the issues of the two words that I immediately bristle are power and control. And a dear friend of mine who passed many, many, many years ago sat down in my dream and she goes, so did you think being powerless would make you more powerful? And I woke up and I thought, what a great question. So who does have the power?
Yeah.
I have the power. I simply abdicated power.
It's beautiful. And that's the thing about looking at, you'll have those moments that everything starts to click, right? Where it can be one or two threads. When I say that, what prevents us in life from moving forward and why we're attached to certain things and people and even continuous patterns, right, is often these decisions that we made due to experiences a long time ago. And I call it a defense mechanism that gets put up, right? And in that defense mechanism, it literally prevents you from having what you truly desire. And it thinks that it's protecting you. And this is a great example that Paul's sharing of, giving away power to feel powerful in some weird sense, like I'm not going to, for whatever reason, exercise my power. Maybe if there was a younger version of you as a child, if you tried to demand what you wanted or different things like that, maybe you got ridiculed or punished or, like you didn't get what you want and in fact you suffered for it. So you decided that it was better to just be silent, right? And when you feel and you tap into that, bam, you realize that you don't need that story anymore. And that's what the purpose of these meditations are, is we can get in there and we can reprogram and have your mind have that aha and that shift and that, right? And you might have those awarenesses in the next few days after this. You might have some different things that start to stir up. And remember, in no judgment, because every action, every emotion, every behavior, everything serves you in some way, shape, or form, or why the hell would we even have them in the first place? You know? And it's like, you know, maybe being powerful and being demanding and putting boundaries up cause you not to have friends or feel lonely. So you feel, oh, okay, I need to succumb to what everybody wants, right? But then you're not getting what you want in life. Do you see? So we'll work on all of it. I think that there's one person that I think stepped away to the bathroom. So, but we'll have everybody start to lay down. And if you want to put your heads facing inward, I'm going to turn down the light just a little bit too. Well, you can face it outward too, because I'm going to turn down the light. So there's blankets, there's pillows, there's everything to get you comfy. And allowing yourself to take a few moments as you get comfortable. And you allow yourself to lay down and relax and find a level of inner peace. And I want you to just take a moment and take inventory of how you're feeling. For those online, if you find a place that's just relaxing, comfortable for you, you can be seated up, you can be in your comfy chair, you can be on your bed, you can be wherever it may be. And if you allow yourself and you want to allow yourself to sit up, for instance, and meditate sitting up, I just invite that your back is straight, that your hands go to your side, and that your spine remains straight the whole time. And as you allow yourself to take a few moments of just feeling yourself, and whether you're laying down or whether you're sitting up, I want you to just be proud that you took the time right now in this moment to allow yourself to know that you're worth it. And take that time and appreciation because you allowed yourself to say, you know what? This moment, this time, this space right now, I know that I have the power to change. Otherwise, you wouldn't have shown up or tuned in if you didn't understand the power of shifting in your life and the ability that you hold the key. And so as you allow yourself to feel that level of pride, as you allow yourself to feel that sense of comfort, I want you to take a few moments to just feel your body, starting with feeling your feet. And allowing yourself to notice as you feel your feet. And when's the last time you really paid attention to your toes or the soles of your feet or the heels of your feet? And notice them. And the amazing ability that these little tiny toes have the ability to balance you. And these feet of yours, they continue to allow you to walk through life and experience so much. And as you allow yourself to take a few moments of just taking inventory of being here, being present to yourself in these moments, in this time, in this space, feeling your feet, the soles of your feet, noticing your left foot might feel slightly different than your right. And as you allow yourself to feel that, and you can allow yourself to notice your ankles, your legs, and keep on paying attention to your body. We hardly allow ourselves to focus on our body. Most of the time, we're just focusing on our thoughts, hearing a running script inside of our mind, one thought upon the next, upon the next. And you might be aware of those thoughts racing in, and it's okay. This isn't about banishing your thoughts and saying, no, I can't think a thought. It's about giving those a sense of importance for a moment. Hear what they have to say. And then slowly invite them to fade away. Because in this moment and in this space and in this time right now, as you allow yourself to take this moment of just being present to you, to this space. As you breathe in very deeply to the pit of your stomach and you breathe out. Breathing in comfort and breathing out stress. And the more that you do, the more that you feel this relaxation, this inner peace, this comfort and stillness inside. I want you to pay attention as those thoughts fade away and you can say, you know what? I have so much time in the day to think. And this is my time to just feel, to let go and to relax. And you can start to invite those thoughts to come back another time, another day, another place. Knowing that there's so much space to think, but this moment right now, it's about feeling. Feeling that you're safe, feeling your body, feeling this moment in this room. And the more that you breathe in and the more that you breathe out, you can give your breath a catalyst to take you on a journey if you want to. Because the power is all up to you. To guide you, to steer you in new directions and new light. To take you on a voyage where you have the power, you have the force, you have the might. And with this ability to say, you know what? My journey into the deepest part of my mind, my journey to allow and to trust that I'm here to shift and change. To know my value and my worth. To appreciate myself just a little bit more than I did when I walked inside. Realizing the gift of my life, this journey that belongs to me. The story that I'm carving and I'm shaping, this energy. And when you give yourself this permission, when you give yourself this permission in this time, every moment, you can allow yourself to fade a little bit deeper and deeper inside. And so as you breathe in and as you breathe out and as you allow yourself to know that this time, this space, this moment here is for you. An awakening, a calmness, an inner truth. And so as you allow yourself to start to let go, fading away with every breath that you take and allowing for a moment for you to take control. See, your breathing will just happen automatically without a second thought if you allow it to. Just done for you. But if you take control, you can steer your breath to have a powerful force of relaxing you, of taking you on a journey deep inside of yourself, with the ability to discover who you are and a clarity to uncover that inner truth and allow that inner truth to shine and come out. No longer stored up or bottled inside, but free to navigate and take control over your life. So breathe and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. That's right. And as you continue this force of breathing in and you continue this ability to breathe out, I want you to just for a moment imagine that each breath has the ability to take you 10 times deeper. It has the ability to relax every single cell of your body. What do you say? Can you allow yourself to take that challenge of saying, how relaxed can I get? I know that you might have experienced relaxation before, but could you imagine what it would be like to experience a deeper state of relaxation? Maybe twice as deep than you've ever experienced before. Like the type of relaxation where every cell, every tissue, every fiber, every muscle of your body just turns limp and loose and relaxed. It's all the tension gets washed away and pulled out. Every breath you breathe out, more tension and stress, and every breath in, you breathe in more relaxation. So powerful that breath, so powerful are you. That as you take control of your breathing, as you start to take control over your life, you realize that you're in control if you choose to want to. And if you choose not to, you'll go about in automatic pilot just like your breathing does. They're still moving forward, but doing it automatically, maybe shallow breathing, maybe just taking in air, going upon your journey in the same way that you do sometimes in life, in the days that you live, and the experiences that you create. Sometimes we're just going through the motions, going through. But we don't realize that in each moment, in each breath, you have the power to take control if you choose to. Each moment of your life, each breath that you take, you can breathe it in so powerfully that that power sits with you. And you realize the control. You realize the strength. You realize the opportunity that you have at every moment to shift anything that you want to. And that's what we're doing here today. And so as your mind continues this journey of relaxation and as your body allows you to start to feel free, taking that control with that breath, as you realize as you control your breath, you control you. And this is about taking control over your life, realizing patterns and old thought patterns, old ways of being, old attachments that you had. You can breathe them out. You can allow yourself to clear the clutter in your mind. You can shift. And as we shared a few moments ago, change can happen just like this and that and that. And a snap. And when you are prepared for it, when you know that you're ready to make those shifts and changes, you realize how powerful and free you truly are. No longer tethered to the old elements of your old story that kept you playing small in your own life, that made you feel that you were stuck to certain ways of being. Experiences past that was once a part of your life, but you realize in this moment you're not living your past. Some people do. They pull their past into their present, constantly looking back behind them, but you wouldn't do that all the time when you drive. You wouldn't just constantly look back out of the rearview mirror, turn your head to look over your shoulder, because then you're going to create a collision. But if you turn around and you allow yourself to see that you're moving forward and allowing the power for you to navigate with ease and grace and say, what new is coming? What new opportunity, what new excitement, what new adventure, what new whatever it may be. Feeling your heart beat. Letting go as you do. With every breath, in a little bit more. Out you go. That's right. And as I continue to allow you to relax, I'm going to simply count down from 5 all the way down to 0. Now honor before 0 entering into an even deeper hypnotic state. And every breath will send wave after wave of relaxation through you. Every breath will carry you to a new empowerment if you allow it to. So what do you say? With this moment right now in this space today, what do you say? Are you ready to shift and alter and change? So by taking control more and more, by allowing that breath to guide you to a deeper version inside of you, maybe you might even feel that your body starts to lose track of time and space. You might find that it starts to become hard to decipher where you start and your body begins, allowing them, your body, the floor, yourself, to melt down away. Go ahead. Try it. See what you discover. As you allow yourself to melt into the floor beneath you, to the surface beneath you, melting away and losing time and track of time and space as you feel this expansion. No borders, no restrictions on your energy. Just take it all in. And feel this awareness of feeling, this awareness that you can take your awareness and even feel what it would feel like to be outside of this room. And for a moment you can. And you can take that energy and you can allow it to spread beyond if you'd like to too. To feel this connection, awareness, and expansion even beyond, because today in this moment, this is for you. Your time, your freedom, your expansion. So 5, fading away even more. Allowing your mind and your body to explore this feeling of comfort, this feeling of freedom, this feeling of relaxation. Down, deeper. Down to 3. Melting away, let go. It's okay. Let go. You're free. You're free to fade, fade, fade into the distance. And allowing yourself to let go, let go. And you can even imagine that with every exhale out, you're releasing something that you've been trapped inside. A part of you, perhaps, that old tendency. The old scarcity, the lack, the feeling of insecurity and doubt, lack of trust. Let it out. Let out that unworthiness. Let out that shame or embarrassment. Let out the betrayal, the pain, the heartbreak. Let out the feeling like you must please others in your life. And that perception that sometimes we carry with us of taking ourselves out of our body, so consumed with the perspective of another looking at us, when we should be more consumed with being inside, seeing through our eyes, looking at the world instead, and experiencing this moment, knowing that this moment, this time, we're in the perfect place for us. Can you feel that perfection? Can you feel that connection to just the present for a moment? As you realize that the past will never come back. It's already been, and why would you want it to? The experience, you've already went through it, and there's a world of different experiences waiting for you when you let go. And you say, I know that story, I know that old pattern, I know that behavior, I know that relationship, I know that already. And I know how the experience feels. And I know what the outcome is like. And I ask you to add in a little curiosity, a little sense of adventure, a little spark of light. And says, I wonder what it would be like to experience something different. I wonder what it would be like to allow myself to be powerful in control in my life. I wonder what it would be like to allow myself to save and to form an abundance of prosperity in my life, to have an accumulation of wealth that I can allow myself to do the other things that I desire, the purchases, the bigger security blanket. I wonder what it would be like to deepen my relationship or to experience someone new. I wonder what it would be like to continue to call in opportunities and expand them beyond my imagination, beyond, and continue to allow that flow to come through. And trusting in the flow that is always going, like a river that you just trust that it's going to continue to flow. Or the way that you can trust that the sun will rise and it will set. And the way that you can trust opportunities will always present themselves in your life. And as you start to allow and you see that you've gotten yourself here, you've went through many things in life. Hard times, heartbreak, struggles. Things have fallen apart. Old things didn't work out. Shifts in your career, shifts in your contract, shifts in your opportunities have happened. And you've made it through. And guess what? Life always continued. Life always found a way. Another opportunity emerged. Another relationship came. Another possibility came as you closed that door. And when you turned around from facing the past and you forward faced, you saw that as you closed that door, there was 10 more doors waiting for you to open them up and say, here, what's next? What adventure is waiting for me? What success can I form? What new connections can I feel and receive? And I invite you to turn around and face that forward motion, closing the door to your past. And saying in this moment right now, how do I connect with the truth of me? How do I realize that I'm in control? That I get to call in opportunities. I get to make decisions on how I spend and save my money. I get to allow myself to set my worth and the value of what I receive. I get to. And the next question is, how? And when you ask how, you'll figure it out. How can I? Instead of feeling blocked and saying this isn't possible, just for a moment say, how could this be possible? If there was a way, what would it be? And allowing your mind to powerfully think like that, if there was a way, how could that manifest for me? And as you allow yourself to feel that and you try on that possibility, you try on that way. And from here on out and each and every day, anytime you find yourself in those old patterns and thoughts in your mind and you find yourself in the lack and limitation and stuckness, you say, well, how can I get unstuck? If there was a solution, what would it be? If I allowed myself to believe that it was possible, what would show up in my creative mind? And listen. And allow yourself to hear those responses. And you can dig deeper into that. And as long as you're always asking the question, you're always going to allow yourself to find the answers. As long as you're always asking the question, you're always going to allow yourself to find the answers. It's the questions inside. And instead of no more I can't, no more it's hard, no more it's difficult, no more challenges, no more whatever the case, those old limiting perspectives, just clear them out of the way. And just simply say, if I could, what would it be? If I could, what would I do? If it was possible, where would I look? Where would I start? And in that moment and in that process, starting with where you're at, knowing that there is no race to get wherever you think you're going, you're just experiencing life. And you are your own gauge to where you're at. You are your own gauge to where you're at. And as you find comfort in the now, in your story, the story that led you here, the experiences that all worked for you, like Groundhog's Day, every experience leading to this moment of you. And for a moment, if you can try on that there's one aspect of yourself that you love and you appreciate, one aspect of your reality that you're really satisfied with. Just that one. And you focus on that. And you focus and you allow yourself to say, this may not be in my life if anything from my past was different. This might not be a part of me if something was different in my past. those regrets, those resentments, those whatever, those stories that you carried with you that you said, maybe I wish I could go back in time like a time machine and rewrite my history. But would you risk not having that? That one thing that you love? That one aspect of you? What if I told you if you went back, that might not be the same? And so as you allow yourself to find that affinity and love for that aspect of your life, that aspect of you, you can start to see, to feel, and to know that everything led to that right now. And you can have peace and forgiveness and even gratitude to all of these stories in your past. All of the learnings and the lessons and the experiences that got you to be that aspect or have those aspects in your life right now. And if we start with that, we can start to allow that love for yourself to spread to other areas too. That energy to start to connect you to so much more because it is you. All of it. How do you appreciate every aspect of you? And as you start to see that, yes, I know, you might want to change certain things and just ask yourself, well, what are you learning from this? How is this serving you? And get the answers, get the clarity, and take with it what you will. As you get clear on where you want to go. And you say, no race, I'm going to get there. I can plan for a certain day, a certain time, a certain month. Or I can simply just allow myself to create it and know that it will happen in the right time, in the right way. And having that. And never questioning whether you will have that. Knowing you will. And it can show up many ways. As you stop limiting yourself. Abundance can come in many forms. Prosperity can show up in many ways. Opportunities can present themselves in the most usual and unusual circumstances. And when you start to see the magic of life, the magic of synchronicities, if you've ever had a moment where you thought of somebody and they called you or texted you or emailed, you see the synchronicities. You understand that what you're putting out is coming back to you. You understand the vibration and the powerful force of you. Let's start radiating out those messages for the things you desire. Let's start radiating out the experiences that you are curious to have, that excite you inside, the ways of being that you want to feel. What would it be like to make that amount of money? What would it be like to be able to save? What would it be like to be in control? What would it be like to move on from my past? What would it be like to allow myself to trust that it's always flowing, more is always coming, and I can count on that? Ask yourself those questions and allow the feelings and experiences to come. Because when you were a little child, that's how life worked. You wanted to experience something, you wanted to go to a place, you wanted to learn something, you wanted to try something new, and guess what? With the willpower was strong and the curiosity was strong enough, there was no way anyone could tell you no. You simply asked the question inside, how can I? And when you said, how can I, and your mind created another idea. And then you would try that idea, and if you got shot down again, you said, how can I make this happen? And the little you, that tenacious little part of you, would think of another idea. And then you'd go and try that. And if you hit a wall or a block or a parent or somebody else said no, you figured out another way. You never gave up, especially if you really wanted something and you were super curious about it. And you needed to know what was behind that door, or you wanted to know what it would be like to play that or go there. It's even probably, maybe some of you would even sneak out of the window in the middle of the night to make it happen. You would find a way. When the desire is strong, and when you keep on asking yourself the question of how, instead of just slammed down by your first no or your second no. Your mind is extremely creative. And the stronger the will, the more creative it will be. And so I invite you to get clear of what you're curious about receiving in your life, what you desire, and strengthen that. And know that there are no blocks other than the blocks you create internally. There are no blocks other than the blocks you create internally. Going back to that energy of that powerful little you. Going back to that experiences of knowing that if you want and desire something, you will find a way. No matter what. No matter what. Because there's always a way. Know that. There is always a way. Know that. And so in the few moments of silence that are about to come, I want you to get really clear of certain experiences that you desire, certain ways of being, certain things that you want to experience, do, try, or have. And I want you to get curious about what it would be like to experience them. And then I want you to strengthen that with a knowing and a certainty that says, this is going to be my experience, my new reality. And no matter what shows up, no matter what happens, I'm going to find a way. That inner strength and that willpower that guides you. Because I guarantee that shows up in certain ways in your life right now anyways. It's just time to apply that same energy to what you really want. Let go. Let go. As you allow in your mind, it's kind of like that song. Ain't nothing gonna hold me back, ain't nothing gonna hold me down, gonna keep on moving. Yeah. Every day you're moving, every day you're changing. Nothing's gonna hold you back anymore, nothing's gonna hold you down. And as you allow that energy to resonate inside, in a few moments, I'm going to be waking you up, but before I do, just allow yourself to drop a little bit deeper. Know that there's things to clear out and release from your mind, and each and every night, regardless of the day, regardless of the emotions that you've experienced, when you decide that it's the right time to fall asleep at night, falling asleep deeply and quickly and sleeping well through the night. And those early morning dreams, what are known as venting or releasing dreams, I want you to vent out any remaining blocks or resistance. Any tension or stress, I want you to just vent it out. All of those old little behaviors, ways of being, stories you told yourself about yourself, clear it. And allow instead, nothing's going to hold me back, nothing's going to hold me down. And strengthening that desire, that willpower, that will just continuously ask that question. If it was possible, how? That's right. So going a little bit deeper. When I count up from 0 up to 5, on or before 5, opening your eyes, completely unsuggestible and wide awake. 0 deeper. 1, closing the door to the unconscious mind, making sure all the suggestions are locked in and effective. And at 2, becoming aware of your body. Because at 3, a total sense of positivity floods through every cell. 4, becoming aware of the room around you. And 5, eyes open, wide awake, coming back. Slowly feeling your body, yourself, and allowing yourself to come back into the room. Thank you everybody for joining online. We'll catch you next time. Know that most of our meditations are available live stream. And so anywhere you are in the world, you can tune into some of our meditations, and they're good when they live stream for 24 hours, so it doesn't have to be on the exact time that they're scheduled. So thank you for joining. Until next time.